What's going on, guys? Today I'm actually going to install a 12,000 pound winch. You'll see right here in a moment. I initially started this video working on a 9,000 pound. This is essentially the same winch, just more weight it can pull. You'll see why I swapped from a 9 to a 12,000 pound winch. But let's go ahead and get this video started and get it set up on my trailer today. Today I'm going to install this Harbor Freight Badland winch on my trailer. Going to be using a complete Harbor Freight setup. We're going with this 9,000 pound winch. I picked up, this is a mount for it which attaches to a 2-inch hitch. Picked up an extra hitch pin. I needed some larger bits to drill into the trailer. Then what I'm going to use is 2 pieces that they offer also. This is an extender which is going to raise it, and this I'm going to mount to my trailer. While I was on the way home, I stopped at Ace Hardware and picked up some grade 8 3/4 inch bolts. Those are 0.75 inch. What I want to do, I want to mount it right here, and that way it fits on this front part of the trailer. Let me mock it up real quick and I'll show you exactly what I mean. This is how I want to set it up. Put the step bumper receiver right here. I'm going to bolt that down, and that I'm going to leave permanently on the trailer. And then this is the mount for the winch. We'll be able to put that in there. And then of course these are both removable. We can remove it here with one of the pins and another one right there. So I'll be able to remove the winch whenever I need to. And I don't plan on leaving it on the trailer all the time. It's going to be one of those things that it's an as needed mod to my trailer, and I really don't even want to point at this car, knock on wood, nothing happens to it, but say in an instance something does, I want to be able to get it back up onto the trailer. I have a dovetail which angles down, and that's one of the reasons, if you look here, this lifts it up off of the trailer. That gives me a little bit of height, so when the cable rolls back, trying to avoid dragging it as much as possible. I have an idea of what I want to do in terms of towing a car up, and this car doesn't have a motor, so once I get everything hooked up, I will try to demonstrate that and see if we can get that pulled up on here. But let's get it started. I think I'm happy with this. See these posts right here, this post and that post? These ramps slide in there, so when looking at it, when the winch is here, I think I should still have enough room to keep those on there and leave the winch attached. Say if I'm taking the cars out to the track for the day, I could just hook it all up and leave it alone, and then just store it when we are done with the track day. And with just the receiver here, I still have full access to the battery, which is nice. That's what I wanted. I didn't want to take away from everything. It just kind of sits perfectly on that little frame there. This is a battery for the brakes, emergency braking system, in case a trailer was ever to come unattached, and that way I have full access to it. Can get in there and remove it if I need to without having to really worry about the winch being in the way. So I'm gonna get this hooked up and follow the directions for everything, and I'll show it to you once we have it mounted. We can start test using it. The only thing I think I might want to get also is Harbor Freight also sells a remote control. This one is wired, but that requires me to have somebody steering the vehicle as well. I won't be able to get in it. I don't think it's long enough. I think it's only like 12 feet long. I can't remember the length of the cord. They sell a wireless remote for 40. There's one for 40 and I believe one for 60. I'm not sure what the main difference is. But I may pick that up also. I think that'd be a lot easier, because then I could sit in the vehicle and start pulling it in while I steer it onto the trailer. So that may be something I upgrade before I end this video, so I can show you that also. After test fitting the length and just kind of thinking about it, I'm going to drill into the A bar instead. I think it's probably stronger than drilling into that piece. Also, for the room, once I have this bolted up, this will now fit perfectly. No issues for room there. It was a little, when I had this centered, if I move it back, it's a little too close. I think I was able to. I think it's really close. I think it's just better here, probably safer at the same time using that part of the frame. So I'm gonna put it there just because I don't want to have to like put this on when I show up someplace. So I'm picking up a vehicle or whatever. I want to be ready that day and the winch is on here, and then just leave these ramps / rock protectors on the trailer at the same time. I know I talked about it earlier, and I did end up picking up the wireless winch remote, also made by Badland. The wireless remote comes with this nice storage case with it. It also has a supplied wire in case you lose battery power to the remote. The wireless remote just plugs right into the control box. Once you have all your wires hooked up correctly, you should have power to it. Looks like this is connected. The little indicator light is on right here. This is how I want to run my power. I'm just going to leave the power quick cables, power and ground cable, just wound up around the winch when I'm not using it, and bring a spare battery with me, and I just have it connected with the jumpers. This is just temporary. I don't see a need for me to run wiring. It's not something I'm going to be using on a daily basis. This is just for safety and peace of mind in case something does happen. And the reason I'm using the car battery is because, you know, if I can get jumper cables long enough, I could just run these cables to the front of the truck and have them hooked up to the battery and to just power this. I have it powered on, and I have it hooked up to my car over here. Let's see if this is in. Yeah, it's already powered up. So what I'm trying to do to avoid dragging the cable across my trailer, another reason why I wanted it lifted, is I attached one of these tow straps. These are made by Sparco to the shock tower. I'm just going to pull it. This car is relatively light, maybe like a 2,400 pound car. I wanted to do that because I don't want to hook it up to the tow hook right there. I don't want to hook it up under there and just drag it. Maybe what I could do is, once I get the car up onto the ramps a little bit, I could remove the cable and then put it on the bottom, because it would have the appropriate room at that point. But we're going to try this out real quick. Alright, so I'm going to set my camera on the dash, that way I can steer and use the remote at the same time. Whoops. I'm going to take a look and see what's going on under the hood. I'm also going to line up my wheels. Strap looks perfectly fine still. Put this towel around here so it's not damaging the support. I was more curious on... It looks like I just need to go right a little bit and then keep going forward. Let's see if we can get this thing up. I'm going to set the camera on a tripod now instead. Okay, I wanted to share this with you also. I was trying to pull it up and I kept getting stuck right here. I was about to set the camera down on the tripod and it would not pull my car up. And this thing, I think I have a defective unit. Let me re-engage it. Listen to this thing. This is out. This is in. Nothing is happening at all. So unfortunately, I'm gonna run over there real quick, grab another one. When I purchased this, I bought the 2-year warranty for $90 for the sole reason. That way I can try it out the first time and give me 2 years of not having to worry about it. And towards the end of that, I'll test it out one more time before that 2 years expires and see if anything's wrong with it. But I'm gonna disconnect it. And luckily it's not that hard to disconnect. I'm not gonna pull it all apart. I'm gonna leave it like that and just take it to them and go swap it out for another one. And I will continue this video when I get that one set up. Okay, so I went to Harbor Freight. They were out of the 9,000-pound winches. The guy said they wouldn't get any more back in for another 2 weeks, and I didn't want to wait 2 weeks. When I initially bought mine, I had thought about getting the 12,000-pound one. It's essentially the same build. Obviously has more weight. It's only $40 more expensive. So I just went ahead and returned the 9,000-pound one. And I picked up the 12,000-pound one. So let's see if this one is working a little bit better. I also went ahead and I wanted to do this initially. Picked up these battery terminals. So now I just have these mounted on here and it'll be a lot easier just to keep these mounted onto the wires at the same time. Just plug them right in here without having to bust out any sort of jumper cables for now if I'm going to just use my battery method. The only downside, first thing I noticed right away, is the wireless part. It doesn't fit. The spring is in the way. I guess I could remove the spring, but once I put the spring off, it's still going to be in the way just because of the size of it. So I think I could obviously just take this off and leave it. It doesn't necessarily need to be mounted right there, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of how that's not fitting. It fit perfectly fine on the 9,000-pound one, but on the 12, this spring is now in the way. All right, so I'm back to having everything hooked up. The winch is ready to go, power's on. What I did I just lifted the box up so I could put the wireless receiver in. I guess it's not that big of a deal. I'll probably remove it anyways when I store it and just snap that back on there. I will probably not just add these on there because, like I said, it's just going to be used sparingly. And let's see if this one works now. There we go. This one, no problems. Obviously you could hear it, that 9,000 pound. Something was wrong with it from the beginning. I don't know if the motor, the gearing, whatever, the same. Something was just wrong. I don't know what it was. So there in order to reduce the angle, it says you don't want anything too extreme. That's why I stopped it there and just went ahead and put it on the actual tow hook. But the method I had thought about doing worked well, using the shock tower. And then that way I don't want to be dragging that cable across my trailer, because I don't want to damage the trailer, first of all, and most importantly, I don't want to damage the wire rope. Have it start fraying or potentially weaken it. I'd like it to just last, especially since it's one of those spare emergency things in case I need to tow a car up onto the trailer. But the setup worked great. I had to swap back to my other battery. That black one was a little low, and I just checked the level, so that's why I have this battery on here now. Bolting it up there with all the Harbor Freight extensions worked really well. I like the idea of doing this. Now I can just put my battery away. The winch I can easily slide off if I want to. Honestly, I'm probably just going to leave it on my trailer, and I'm going to wrap it in a tarp with some bungee straps, just keep it out of the elements. Generally people have winches on their cars to begin with, like on the front of a truck or a Jeep or something, and they're out in the elements, so it should be fine. But I'm just going to do that to help protect it and extend the life of it, especially when summer rolls around. It's super hot in that punishing sun. I don't think I'm going to take it off here at all. I'm just going to leave it mounted up, and that way it's ready to go whenever I need to use it. But I like it, you know, with the fact that I had to deal with that broken one. It's always super inconvenient, but I bought the 2-year warranty on this as well. This one was $349.99 and then a $100 2-year warranty. So I think it's beneficial for what I want to use it for. But no issues pulling this light car up, and I generally tinker with Hondas, and I think the thing that's nice is if I ever need to pull like someone's daily driver home that weighs a lot more, this will be perfectly suitable to get any of those cars up onto the trailer. And before I finish this video, I couldn't leave well enough alone. I did remove the top, and it did require you to remove the 4 screws that are facing up to hold the lid on. It looks like there's plenty of room in here and extra wires. I'm going to loosen up this really quick, see if maybe I can just flip it upside down and see if that allows it to fit a little bit better. Alright, and to amend that wireless situation, all I had to do was get in here and I flipped it upside down, and it works perfectly. You'll see that little white arrow is now on the bottom side, but it fits and it just barely touches the spring, but I think it'll be perfectly fine. I won't have any issues. And then I'll be able to just plug that in. I did slide the box all the way up against this side, that way it's not centered, and that gave me a little bit of extra room, but this seems to be a perfect solution, just flipping it upside down, and now you can use your wireless remote that they offer. And so my overall review, it got a little better now because that's a simple fix. Just had to do the 4 screws on the inside, 2 screws here, 2 nuts on the inside of this little gasket, and I was able to flip it, and that fits fine for me. I thought about maybe mounting it up here, but this works, and like I said, it's not something I use on a daily basis, just when I need it, and I'll be able to just bust out the wireless remote, get that plugged in. And so really no complaints overall after all is said and done completely. Super cool winch. Hopefully helps you guys out if you are doing something similar on your own setup. You guys take it easy. Bye.